Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite written Rip Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you just to let you know how it tastes.
Oh, we're getting some echo here.
Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple written Rip Ralph that's nice, Echo. From our show here, Apple
That's
Bites.
trippy.
Take a bite out of the apple and share it
Thank you, voice from beyond.
Oh, we're getting some echo here.
Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your oh, now we're getting a repeat.
Oh my goodness. That's trippy.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know.
Beyond.
Oh, we're getting some echo here.
Oh, now we're getting a repeat.
Oh my goodness. Who's doing that?
Where's that coming from?
I don't know. Can we just have the whole show be like this? Oh my goodness. Who's doing that?
It says it's a triple echo. All right, so
Can we just have the whole
where are we? Where's this happening from? If he's in me, I'll find out right now. Hold on.
Does someone have...
All right, so where are we? Where's this happening from?
Does someone have like the YouTube tab open or something? Does someone have...
I only have one tab open. I just have my one tab open. Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait, did it stop?
Can you hear me?
Oh, it stopped.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Silence.
not gonna
Silence
question it.
number 2.
That,
We're live, folks. This
that
is all
was a hell of an
live.
intro there.
I don't even know what the heck happened there.
Now all the ghosts have exited the live stream. Now we can move
Or
on.
they entered and they're just here hanging out.
It's always haunted in this place.
This is fair, yeah.
Oh man. All right, folks, there you have it. That was the fun of the first part. Today we got Blake, Sarah, and John, especially our beautiful Mrs. Mata Sorciere, and of course Rit Ralph. And that's it, folks. Go home.
Yeah, the show's over. You got
Good night,
through the-
everybody.
It's all downhill from here.
All right, Blake, why don't you start it off? Tell the people who you are. Give them the spiel. Go for it.
No pressure.
Okay, not a problem. Whoop. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello? Okay, I heard a popping. Hold on. My name is Blake Zawadzki. I'm a writer, director, and a voice actor. I'm also an award-winning. I've been blessed to win a bunch of accolades over the course of the last few years, while returning back into the industry. I currently have a comic book that we're in production with the awesome and very talented artists Eli Ramos and Keith Williams. It's called Felandra Heroine of Darkness. Do you want me to go into that or just do an introduction at this point?
Going.
Oh, okay. It's Felandra Heroine of Darkness is about a female who becomes a vigilante, has to deal with the loss of her mother, as well as the rise of crime in a futuristic cyberpunk future set 70 years, as elements of magic, fantasy, technology, themes of sisterhood, as well as extended family, among other things. Was also have an animated series currently in development, as well as other potential avenues down the line. Also, like I said, with issue 1, we're hoping to get it out by the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year. And if it's a hit, we'd like to go to series and exploring different options as far as either self-publishing or with a publisher. By day, Adriana Woods is a journeyman mechanic. By night, she is the vigilante Felandra Heroine of Darkness that has influence of like Sikh culture, and as well as a lot of different martial arts like stick fighting, which is part of the Sikh martial arts, which is originates elements of kung fu, if you're not aware. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I can elaborate more, but I just wanted to give you the abridged version.
Yeah, but you've been running around winning little awards, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've been very blessed. What's been winning the awards is the screenplay for the two episode pilot, which won a couple of awards off the top of my head. It won Best Screenplay Television Series Pilot Script at the Burbank International Film Festival. It's won at the LA Animation Festival. Actually, a finalist at the Manhattan Film Festival right now. It's going on this week. Shout out to those people over there. They're awesome. And shout out to the rest of the other festivals, Burbank. And also was a semifinalist at the Flickers Rhode Island. It was also at, let's see where else, Vale. And yep, there will be making an appearance at the Garden State Comic Fest this weekend. Shout out to Dave and all the wonderful people over there. Thank you. And, Eli and Keith will be there, as well as some outstanding other artists and creators. Also, Ralph will be there.
I will be there. We will be having fun at Garden State Comic Fest because we like them.
Yes, absolutely. They're great people over there. So, but if you saw, those are only a few of the characters that are there. We have many more characters. And in reality, I have a full season already copyrighted, as well as notes for up to 6 seasons. So a lot of friends and acquaintances who were in the comic book industry during the strikes said to me, well, why don't you expand it into a comic book? So I'm like, sure. We have enough to adapt, and I'm very blessed and grateful with all the love and support that people have been giving this property when it hasn't even come out yet. And we haven't even done a Kickstarter or anything, and it's just been, people have resonated with it, which I'm very grateful and very blessed. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I just like telling good stories like everybody here today. And thank you.
And you're doing a good job. And, we met you at Urban Action Showcase, which
Yes.
makes sense since you have such a Kung Fu related storyline, because, it's Urban Action Showcase.
Yes. Shout out to Demetrius and Molly and all those people over there. They're fantastic.
I like the crossing that you're doing between all this stuff, and I told you from the first time I met you, I think this would make a great comic.
Yes, thank you, and I appreciate the continued support from you as well, and everybody. Like I said, I sound like a broken record, but I really am very appreciative.
Yeah.
No, it just sounds like you're grateful.
How has it been adapting what was originally a screenplay into a comic?
Good question.
Because some people think that they can just give the screenplay script to an artist and then the artist knows what to do. There's definitely technical things that are different. How has it been for you?
Absolutely. Well, Eli, who has done a lot of the artwork, shout out to Eli and Keith. Like I said, I come from a film background, so I storyboarded it out kind of like a film. Nice. And it really helped the artists to see the vision and obviously throw in some ideas. We bounce ideas off one another, and you try to condense it into the comic book. I'll give you a heads up, the screenplay, the 2-episode screenplay is actually the first 3 comics. And shh, don't tell no one. I'm kidding. But to answer your question, it's been a storyboards and taking elements, the high points, and then seeing what works on the page. Even the same thing, whether it's film, whether it's animation, whether it's whatever, whether it's comics, everything's a visual medium anyway. So you have to tell good stories visually, as well as have the substance to engage the audience, at least in my opinion. Obviously a combination of storytelling, character work, visual, aesthetic, some of the influences, Eli will tell you, and Keith the same thing. With Felandra, you could see there's a 90s aesthetic there. And if you're a fan of 90s animation, you'll love this. And and even the same thing, I'm seeing Sarah smiling, and I appreciate that.
90s animation.
What's that?
90s animation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the audience for this piece is 20s to teens to 20s, early young adults. 30s to 40s is a secondary audience, and then which audience I'm very grateful and blessed for, which we found on the festival circuit, is females across the board. You know what I mean? And I want to say thank you to, there's 2 ladies in this room, and as well as just countless others that I've come across, even at Manhattan Film Festival. I would hand them the card, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Like, you could see their eyes just light up. And thank you. So, but that's my audience for this piece. So you'll really like it. So at least I hope so.
I appreciate that you went through and you did the storyboards. Like, I always appreciate like when a writer does like either the thumbnails for the comics or they do a storyboard to give the artist a better idea as to what to do. So like, mad props for that.
Thank you. Like I said, it's just like I said, the filmmaker in me, where that's how you show what you're trying to look for. So like, and then obviously bounce ideas off one another. Hey, does this work? Does that work? Like I'll give you an example. Like Eli will do a page, and then he'll come back and I say, hey, this doesn't work. That doesn't work. Can we change this? He maybe interjects something to it where he adds something. I'm like, hey, that's a good idea. We'll keep that. So it's like a constant going back and forth as far as trying to get it right, trying to make it visual, trying to get the story and progress it in that way. And like I said, was very impressed with, shout out to Eli again. Like, he listens, he adapts, he adds. Like, if you look at my storyboards and look at what he did, there's very close, which I think it's going to be great. So just my opinion.
So yeah, it ends up being better when like people are able to bounce ideas, and like it feels more like a collaboration, I guess, than just like, a writer throws a script at an artist, like, here, machine, go do this.
Yes, exactly right. And yeah, it is like, whether it's film, whether it's animation, whether it's comics, whether it's whatever, it is a collaborated effort. And I 100% agree with that. So yes, absolutely, 100%.
I think people get the idea that it's a lone island out there doing all this stuff, but comic books is a team effort. Even when you're doing it by yourself, it's still a team effort, because
Yes.
You gotta get all your. I know Madden knows this. You got to get all your other selves on the same boat while you're doing the other thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always why I get so pissed when people are like, oh, who's more important, the artist or the writer? Like, everyone is important. Everyone's input matters. Otherwise, you'd never have the book to begin with.
Exactly right. I 100%. And people always go to me, and I'm sure John and Sarah and everybody here can concur with that, is you're building a world. And I've had people go to me and they say, well, I got an idea. And I'm like, well, it starts with an idea, but how do you implement that idea? You know what I mean? Like, if I had, and this is not poo-pooing on anybody saying, oh, you have your idea, but it builds your idea, and how to elaborate your idea, how to expand your idea, how to show it and illustrate to others to help vision that idea.
Yeah.
So, it's not an easy task, but
No, not at all.
No, absolutely not.
I know Sarah and John, you can both talk about this. So what's your take on this? You can start, Sarah.
Yeah, for sure. I think a couple things. I feel like that debate about like who's more important, the writer or the artist, has been coming up on social a lot again recently.
Way too much.
I don't understand it. It's like, you need both, and why do we have to? I mean, it's a story. It's a visual storytelling medium, so you need the visuals and you need the story. And then as far as kind of like that idea of like, well, I have an idea. I think the interesting thing about it is like, well, how do you take that idea and make it into a story? Because I have a notebook full of ideas, and it's always interesting to me where writers get ideas from, because sometimes it's like even just a title will give me an idea, or something that I've read somewhere else, and I'm like, well, if you just tweaked this a little bit, like you can get a million ideas from things from anywhere. But it's then, how do you make that a story?
Mm-hmm. It's building a foundation, building that world, and elaborating, expanding.
Yeah, exactly.
And then sometimes there are also just the ideas that actually don't make for a good story when you start exploring them, and you're like, oh man, I thought this was so cool, but now that I'm like seeing it play out, it's kind of dumb. I guess I'm gonna move on to something else. I haven't known a couple of those, definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess my philosophy has always been the art gets them in the door, and the writing is what keeps them there. So, I mean, it's definitely hand in hand partnership. But of course, if you're like me or Sarah, or I'm assuming Blake, it's your story. You created it, and you're hiring the artist. So, you know, you're the one in charge as the writer. If you're a comic book creator like us that are hiring the people. So, I mean, obviously the writer is probably the most important aspect of it. I mean, but because you're the one that's making all the decisions for the most part for it. But yeah, you definitely want to have a good marriage with the artist that can take your work, your blueprint, and make it even better. And I've been lucky enough, and I think Sarah has been too, because I've read her, that we've been able to connect with artists that are so incredible that they can take our idea and just expand them and make it an amazing comic book.
I like that you said marriage, because that's really what it feels like a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's a give and take.
There's bickering that happens too.
Yeah. I mean, you lay the blueprint out, and sometimes you sketch. I try to, you know, when I write a script, I try to have obviously a pretty clear outline, but you know, you never want to pigeonhole anybody, because you don't want just your vision being in the 2-dimension, because it should be a collaborative effort. And you know, like I said, I can't speak about Blake's. I don't know his work very well, but I know Sarah's a little bit, and I think that we both have been very fortunate to have terrific artists that have taken our work and made it a lot better.
Absolutely, 100%. You definitely have to find the right fit, and it is a collaboration. And or somebody mentioned marriage, and absolutely, and you know, it has to be the right fit. You know, like everybody has to mesh well. And you know, I've been grateful and blessed, and I'm, like you said, you guys were too. So that's wonderful. Wonderful. That's it.
Moving on.
It happens. Sarah, why don't you go and let the people know all the beautiful stuff? Give them the spiel. Go for it.
So I am a comics writer. The third issue of my series, No Spell Lasts Forever, is live on Kickstarter. It is a contemporary fantasy. It's about a magic-using criminal who meets an early death and makes a deal with the devil for a second chance at life. Her task is to corrupt one truly good soul. And kind of her journey is figuring out if she can go through with it, if that is actually the kind of person that she is, or if she is able to be a different kind of person, make different decisions. And then if so, what does that kind of mean for her fate?
I like what you've created there.
I'm a huge fan of no-win situations where it's just like, all right, she has to do this thing to save herself that maybe she doesn't want to do, but then, you know, if she doesn't do it, she's literally damned. Like, I live for those kinds of situations.
So we've got 11 days left. It's already hit a bunch of the stretch goals and the backer bonuses. So there are lots of goodies that people will get in addition to the tier rewards.
Congratulations, Sarah. I remember when you first came out with your first one, and you've gotten bigger and really expanded your readership. That's pretty
thanks.
Cool.
Yes, congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's really difficult. We see enough Kickstarters here where what you've accomplished already is where a lot of them want to be.
Yeah, I think you got like 100 or something on the first one, and like it's just exploded ever since, which is
this one has the most backers that I've ever had, which is very exciting.
You'll have to see it. You'll have to see the number grow like every time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love your concept, and the art for this is just beautiful.
Yeah, the art is by Easy DeSavino, and he's so talented. And this is one of the variants. And speaking of Easy's art, this is his kind of conception of what hell would look like. Like that was him. He kind of saw it as like a foresty, kind of swampy area, which I thought was cool because I don't remember it ever really being represented that way in anything else that I've seen.
And you know, makes so much sense because like in real life when you look at like forests and swamps, you're just kind of like, nope, not going in there.
We're staying out here.
I do see like a 90s aesthetic to it too, like a little bit.
Definitely.
Like I like the artwork.
Yeah, his art's great. I mean, all of it is amazing.
I know when Matt sent this to me, the art just popped for me. I was like, okay, well, this is interesting.
Yep, and also the noir concept. I figured you would be super into that too.
Oh, noir,
Yeah,
definitely. Right away.
A little bit of a it's a noir aesthetic too. The main character is really influenced herself by old noir movies and kind of dresses like it's set in contemporary times, but she dresses like she's in an old noir movie. That was, and the last variant was kind of an homage to old noir movie posters.
It definitely has a noir feel to it. I like when people try to bring noir into the present because noir is a feeling. It's not really a time thing. It's just this feeling of this type of book.
Yeah, it's like a vibe almost.
Yeah.
Like an aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an aesthetic that gives you that kind of like heightened dramatic feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it just has beautiful drama attached to it. And I love the way people talk in noir.
Yes.
Everything has its punctuation. Everything's pointed. Everything's like, you just
very
feel
broody.
It. Exactly.
Yeah. Broody is the right word.
And you can feel it in this art. Like everyone I've shown here it does have a noir feel to it.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool.
Yeah, folks, this art is just beautiful. The book looks amazing. You should go check it out. Ooh, I got stuck there. So this is the third issue on what you're doing. How far do you feel like you're going to go with this?
It's 6 issues.
Oh, cool.
We're halfway through.
Oh my goodness, how's it feel?
It's funny. I kind of like on one hand, I kind of can't believe that we're already halfway through. But then it also feels like so much has happened since issue number 1. So time is weird that way.
That's a definite. That's a complete definite. And time is weird that way.
Absolutely, time is a lie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
These interiors look
time was a flat circle. Sorry.
Yes. with arrows.
Oh, definitely. Oh, folks, looks amazing. You should go check it out. Sarah, I think you're doing a good job, and continue to do the good work. Because like I said, you are in a place where a lot of people want to be.
Oh, thanks.
Also, the genre is like very interesting, and I'm glad to see that there are so many people like jumping on board, like looking at it, saying like magic, noir, like this is really interesting.
Yeah,
it's a good combination.
I think so. It's the kind of stuff I like, so I'm happy when other people like the same things.
Excellent. Nice. This is like what they say when you write the thing that you want to see. Like that's where you're at your strongest.
That's what I think too. I agree with that, and it's trying to like figure out what's going to be most popular or whatever. I think really it's if you do what you want to write, what resonates the most with you. That's where you're going to have your strongest work.
Yep.
You have a feeling, and it resonates with you.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
That's important.
And you just put more effort into it too.
Yeah.
Passion.
I'm more excited about it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You want to write what you want to write. It's so funny. People always asking me, and I definitely don't write for people. I already know that. And when I write,
I appreciate that about you.
I just write. I write the story. I write what I want to see, and everybody else is along for the ride.
That's how it should be. Like when you're sitting there hung up on like, oh, well, like what trends can I hit? Like what can I do that's going to be the next popular thing? Like it's never what you think it's going to be. And then when you put so much effort into it and then it flops and it's just like, oh, but I thought this was going to be a hit. Like it's not for you to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have your the audience resonates with it and what they find compelling, and there's just different audiences for different things. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
the audience is gonna like what they're gonna like, and they'll jump in where they want to jump in. And I'm like, I'm not changing it for anybody. And the more I watch the Star Wars fandom, the more I'm like,
Oh God. Oh.
then they aren't happy with anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can give them exactly what they want, and they still be like, this is bad. It's just like the old thing. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
I gotta say, John, speaking of all this, I feel like you went a whole different direction with your stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, John,
Do tell.
tell the people who you are. Tell them all the good stuff. Give them the spiel. Go for it.
Yeah. So my name is Jon Dexter. I'm the creator of the Alpha Dog series. There's the graphic novel that just came out earlier this year. I'm also the creator of the Dime Store Detective supernatural crime mystery series, and now I've Blunt for Punishment. I've brought a brand new series out called Space Cruizin. It's a science fiction comedy. Instead of, fighting the Galactic Empire or discovering new worlds, you've got a trio of misfits that are traveling the galaxy trying to find earthling artifacts to make a quick buck. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty fun. If you like comedy, if you like stories like Spaceballs or Star Wars, you need to enjoy this new series. If you want to play the trailer, it gives a pretty good idea of what people will be in for if they want to buy Kickstarter. It's pretty awesome trailer.
Let's go to the videotape. Come on, folks.
Rolling.
Damn. Woo.
It skipped a little bit. I swear it doesn't skip if people go to it and watch the trailer.
Oh no, people are just gonna have to go to the Kickstarter and watch the trailer. Oh no.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what happens live. You saw the little bit. You're interested. Go watch it.
Yep. That's how it works.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of cool covers on the Kickstarter. There's 3 different covers. I don't know if you want to check it out or not. It's up to you. But yeah, there's 3 different covers. One, the regular cover, then a homage to Amazing Fantasy 15. That looks terrific. Yeah, if you want to check them out. But it's far into the future. Earth is no longer sustainable for life, so humans go to this distant galaxy and find 2 planets. The only problem is that aliens live in these planets, a whole different bunch of species there that are not too keen on humans coming into their planet and setting up shop. They end up going to war, but unlike the mindset and the thinking of what we have today, it's kind of a turnabout that the humans are actually the advanced species and the aliens are the primitive ones. So it's a quick war, and now the world that exists now in this future timeline is a lot of animosity between humans and aliens, and you get these three kind of, like I said, outcasts, this Bushido warrior, this enhanced individual that was used during the war and then disavowed by the government after they kind of used them for their means. And then you have this alien that, like all the aliens in this story, they love Earthling culture. They're just not a fan of the Earthlings. So you have people walking around with Revolutionary War outfits, gumshoe outfits, and the pilot of the story, the kind of the comic relief Ace, he wears a cowboy hat.
He's adorable.
He's
so adorable.
Yeah, he is. He's a fun character that people will really enjoy, and he wears an I Shot JR T-shirt. Throughout the series, there's gonna be different, funny sayings from pop culture scattered throughout. So then there's this android that's 300 years old, obsolete model, but its owner gave him human emotions, and all the characters are kind of metaphors for human people. The android is kind of a take on the elderly, kind of how they're old and can't move about as well, but they have a lot of knowledge to share, but nobody wants to listen to them. So there's a lot of that in the story.
I see a lot of like metaphor / satire going on, even with like, humans being the advanced civilization for once, but then also doing a very human thing, which is like going to someone else's house and being like, this is my house now.
Yep. Exactly. So definitely a lot of metaphors, and cultural grabs. But at the end of the day, it is a comedy. It's something that, isn't political. It's just something for people to sit down and enjoy. There's not a lot of comedy in comics nowadays. So hopefully I pull the, set the landing. So
yeah, we need more comedy, definitely.
Yeah, it's something I actually developed about in 2012, and most of it was done then. It would have been one of my first comics, but I ran out of money, so it never got finished. And then thankfully, because of the success of Alpha Dogs, I was able to fund this and get this thing going. The cool part is the comic's done. It just needs to be lettered. So if you back it, you're not going to be waiting months and months and months for your comic. You're going to get it pretty soon.
John, I'm happy you settled that, because we like to tell people here that nobody's making any money off of Kickstarter. Nobody's trying to make the next book. All they're trying to do is make the next book.
I know. Yes, that is very, very true. So, but there's a lot of cool tiers in here. There's this one. You can get the physical comic, as low as $10, and the PDF for as low as $5. Then there's a collector's tier where you can have your name and the thank you page. I sign the book, and you get a Kickstarter exclusive sticker if you're so inclined. That's the most popular cover. That's my Star Wars issue 1 from Marvel homage cover. That's pretty awesome. People have been buying that the most. So,
well, somebody here liked the trailer.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a great trailer. Go back and you can see it without the skips. It's a great trailer. You can go back actually and watch all my trailers for my past Kickstarter. All of them, I don't do them. I hire them out by Stone Tower Studio, who were they produce my comic books. They're great. They've done all of my comics. They do all the lettering, the art, the trailers. They're terrific.
Hey, Morb, how are you? Just saying.
Tony's like, wow, it looks great.
Roman Tony.
Yeah. And in this Kickstarter is all my past comic books. So if you are interested, you can back all my other ones, my Alpha Dogs and my Dime Store Detective, which are all terrific comics. There's actually going to be some big news I'll be sharing in the next few weeks pertaining to my comics that I can't say yet. But so it's some pretty cool stuff going on.
And folks, both Alpha Dogs and Dime Store Detective, great books. You should really get them. I love myself a good detective story, and Dime Store Detective is just a great detective story.
That's also just a great name. Can we just talk about the name?
Oh, definitely a great name, yeah.
It's a very like you guys noir. It's kind of a love letter to the 1940s movies. Humphrey Bogart and the dime store novels of the 20s and 30s. But it's
right up my alley in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's kind of like Stephen King's It Meets True Detective is the best way to describe Dime Store Detective. But yeah, it's been slowly getting a partnership.
So Charlie says back to you and Sarah.
Good luck. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Charlie's good people.
Thank you.
That's what we like to hear, folks. Go
Yeah,
go
appreciate
for
it.
it.
We're getting. It's always tough when you launch a new title. It's kind of an uphill battle. And some people don't like black and white. I like the aesthetic of this black. I think it goes well with this series, but some people, aren't fans of the black and white. But I thought it went well with it. But you can get the PDF of all my comics, the volume 1 of Alpha Dogs, issues 1 through 3 of Dime Store and Space Cruising for only $35. It's a lot of comics for a decent price.
It's funny that you say that, John, because the aesthetics of this feels like those 50s sci-fi serials.
Yeah,
so I don't understand why people wouldn't like it.
yeah. I mean, no one's read it yet, so. But it's definitely been a little more of an uphill battle than my other campaigns, but that's fine. I'm not worried about getting funded. We're still really early. I still have like 24 days left, so I'm only $600, I think, dollars.
Yeah, you're more than halfway there, so you'll
get
there.
So it's fine, but usually the other ones have actually met the goal pretty quickly, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it.
Folks, we like to tell you all the time, if you help the people fund, then they can relax a little bit, because until they fund, they don't relax.
Yeah, no one is sleeping until it's 100% funded.
Yeah.
Even then, some of us don't relax when it's 100% funded.
No.
This is true. It's very true.
That's because people start playing games with money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When they shouldn't be playing games with money.
I always speak. I can always speak for myself. It's my mind is constantly running around. So
it takes up so much like mental real estate that it has no right to take up so much space in your head.
More saying, good luck, man. True. I got some supporters from HeroCon due to Luke and Brian, but I could not be there. It costs a lot of money to fly across country and pay for lodging and such. Yep, getting to a convention is difficult, folks.
Yeah, yes. Unless you live like right next to it. Like,
exactly.
That's going to be a journey and a half.
Yeah, it definitely is not right.
Well, even when I travel. Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, John.
Oh no, you're good. I was just saying, it's been very gas and lodging. It's tough to go out of state for cons nowadays.
Oh yeah, like even when I travel, like to cross country, like for business or like whatever. The thing that gets me a lot, it's not so much the lodging, it's the cars and the gas.
Yeah,
like it's just, and you try to get a deal, and they go to you, and I'm not going to mention any names, but they go and they say, oh, well, this deal is only good for this week. So like a month from now, it might be something different. And it's like,
you gotta love it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my soapbox on travel cars.
It's kind of like a hostage situation where it's just like, how much do you really want to travel? Like, how much money are you going to spend on this? Huh? You got to get here. Like, you got to give us money.
Yeah, exactly. And make you an offer you can't refuse.
Exactly.
You can't refuse because your job is depending on it at that point. That's the only reason.
It's funny because every once in a while I get, come to our convention. I'm like, okay. I'm going to try, but, it's not that simple. Sometimes
it's in Texas.
Exactly. You can make it. Come on.
I've been to Texas. It's a nice state, but, everything in moderation.
It's a journey.
Yes. Shout out to the Panther City Film Festival. Great guys and gals over there.
Oh man. I gotta say, John, we mentioned it a little bit in the beginning. What made you go in this direction? Because this doesn't seem like if at least the other two books have like a feel to them. I feel like this one is like, okay, let's try something different.
I appreciate when writers do
diversify. Well, I actually came up with a story when I was a teenager. It's one of the first stories I had ever written. I had a screenwriting background for most of the time, and then I kind of fell in love with comics later on. Well, I was a teenager, but I wrote my first comic in 2012 when I did Space Cruizin, and like I said, I kind of ran out of funds, and then just let it go the wayside, and then I went back to the screenwriting route, and I was in the Nicole Fellowship, kind of the semifinals of that 2 years in a row with my Weeping Trees screenplay, and then I had the idea for Alpha Dogs, and that obviously was more comic book orientated. So, but it's kind of fun going back to this. Is kind of one of my passion projects, the Space Cruising, and it's definitely something different. But I like to write all different genres. Alpha Dogs is kind of a superhero. Talking dogs with their individual abilities, and then Dexter Detective is a supernatural noir. So next natural step was a science fiction comedy, of course. So, but
yeah, cover all the bases. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if people like Alpha Dogs, if they like Dinosaur Detective, then they'll definitely enjoy Space Cruising. It might be different, but I'm a firm believer. It doesn't matter the genre. If you write a good story, it's a good story, and there's plenty of stories that have
100%
super popular, like Fallout. I never thought I'd like Fallout, or I don't know anything about video games, and that was a fun TV series. So it's really doesn't. I'm not a big person with. Unless it's horror, then I won't watch horror. But a good story is a good story.
Speaking of which, would you write horror then?
No, probably not. No, I don't know what people want to be scared. I just don't get it. Why would you want to be scared? But that's just me. I'm weird.
Does it count if you watch horror movies just to laugh?
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it's a lot of comedy comes from horror.
Yeah. We used to have stupid movie night when I was in my early 20s. So me and my buddy would get together and find the dumbest horror movie, and watch it, and it was enjoyable.
I still do that with my mom, actually. Like, we'll find like some random, like, stupid looking thing on Netflix, and open a bottle of wine and then just scream at the TV and laugh at how stupid everyone is.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Real life mystery science theater.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm convinced me and my mom are not allowed in theaters because we would just talk throughout the entire movie and just make like the stupidest commentary.
Yeah,
but even like some of the older horror movies, like even like some of the they have humor in it, like whether it's Freddy, whether it's Jason, whether it's even Ghostbusters. Like that's a dark comedy, like even the same thing. But the first two are really like scary elements. Like they have a joke in like the second Ghostbusters. Like I think they just celebrated their 35th anniversary, Ghostbusters 2, and they go over and they're like, Janos Poha, he goes, "Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to notice." And then it's like
there needs to be a balance, I think, between the humor and the horror. Otherwise, it's just like if it's too one note, then the horror isn't special anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sarah, let me ask you something then. Because I know where you are now, and you got the 6 issues coming up. Where are you going after this? Are you going to stay with this universe, or are you thinking of doing something else?
I have a couple ideas that are in the works right now, actually. So I think I'll probably be moving on to those next. I do have some ideas for other stuff in the No Spell universe that
I thought so.
Go back to at some point, but down the line a little bit.
Because I was like, I'm looking at this as we're looking through the Kickstarter, going, okay, this looks like it's going to be bigger than what we're looking at right now.
I would like to eventually, maybe. One of the rewards in the last issue was a writer's ash can, and one of the things in that was kind of my really general outline for a prequel, if I ever do it. So I do have an idea for that. I have some spin-off ideas for some of the other characters. I don't think it's what I'll go into next, right after issue 6. But maybe eventually. I would like to
do something else, come back to
it.
Yeah.
Take a breather. Yeah.
That's the fun thing about what we do is we don't have to stay where we are. We can just go somewhere else. We'll come back to it later.
Yeah,
if it doesn't like vibe with you anymore, like you don't even have to. But the option is there, which is cool that you set yourself up that you could do something with it, like should you choose to do it in the future.
Yeah, the way this series ends, I feel like there are some threads that could continue. There's a prequel, but there's some other threads that could potentially continue into other things. So yeah, maybe at some point.
That's all. As a writer, I know how my brain thinks, and I'm looking at your piece here, and I'm like, okay, I can see stuff. I can see the the little tendrils coming out. Same thing with Jon. I can as I read your stuff, I'm like, okay, I see where you leave little things here and there, and I go, he's gonna do something later, maybe with this and that.
Put a pin in that. Come back to it later, right?
Exactly. And I know as writers we're constantly doing that because the people tell me all the time. Any writer that tells you that they wrote this and that's it is trying to sell you something.
Not sure what they're trying to sell, but
exactly. I know when I'm writing, there's 10 things. I think one of the best things I've ever seen is J.K. Rowling, where you come back and she goes, well, this is this and this and that and that, because now she's giving you the information on all those notes that we're taking while we're writing what we're writing. You know, how much of let me ask all three of you, how much does the audience not see of what you're working on to make it happen?
You guys can go first.
Oh darn! I was hoping you go first, Blake.
Oh shucks!
I think what ends up on the cutting room floor is what you're saying.
How much
Yeah.
of the iceberg is
Because, you know,
showing, I guess.
in order to- yeah.
Yeah, well,
In order for us to write the story, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think J.J. Abrams is the one that came up with the secret box, which is basically, you know, you leave a little bit and then you move on to something else. You open up a little bit of mystery. Then it's kind of like how they did with Lost. So yeah, when I write, I like to reveal a little bit, then have mystery waiting there to keep people hooked. You know, at the end of about every comic I've done, I've had a nice cliffhanger for people to bring it back. So I think it's really important to always leave that those breadcrumbs for people to follow, and hopefully you got a red herring in there to throw people off. But Game of Thrones was great about that with leaving all these little nuggets. With Alpha Dogs, I have this big storyline with, you know, how the dogs got their powers, you know, that mystery, and then the smaller storyline of this revenge plot by the antagonist of the series. So I think that's really important to have a couple threads going on to keep people's attention. So you don't want to give away too much, obviously, but you don't want to always leave people hanging constantly, kind of like how they did with Lost to a certain extent.
And then introduce time travel and then just mess everything up.
Yeah, just throw everything in.
The multiverse.
Didn't need that.
Yeah.
It didn't need it. Still mad about it.
We messed up and we can scratch and change it.
I know you thought we were going a certain direction, but no.
What is that? Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, I think for me, I agree. I think it's definitely if you can kind of roll out the discoveries about the characters, about the stories as you go, and kind of not front load it too much. That's definitely something that I think about with my writing too. And as far as how much is not seen, I think there's a lot that gets edited out, and just a lot of things that change, like a lot. The general outline and the general shape of No Spell is pretty much the same as what my first outline was, but there are a lot of specifics that changed over like the multiple outline drafts that I did. So there are other scenes that were in it that were cut, and other things from like Rosette's history that were changed. And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff that readers don't see. And then a lot of the other stuff that's just kind of in my head, like what the world is, kind of my head canon for the world, or ideas I have for spinoffs or prequels or whatever that is. And I'd love to put all of that in the comic, but it's at a certain point you put so much in and it just drags it down. It just weighs it down.
Then suddenly you get like 10 pages of exposition and like everyone falls asleep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that stuff too that to me feels really real and feels like in my own head is just as much a part of the world as what's on the page, but you know, doesn't actually make it in.
And I feel like you've done a good job thus far of like giving us the information we need without like bogging us down with like all of the other like outside details that aren't like relevant to the situation. So like you found a really good balance there.
Oh, thanks.
And that's a hard balance to do, especially we know this, especially as writers, because there's times where we want to give you more information, and we're like, no, I shouldn't say that, or I shouldn't give them that, or I think if I give them this, it might mess up the rest of the story.
Yeah, it's like it's at a certain point you're just like, no, it's too soon to talk about this. Like they're not ready. We'll just wait until the reader's a little older, and then we'll talk about it. But now's not the right time.
Yeah, exactly. Or things like with the character development, where like you know where the character is going, and you want the audience to see like this part of the character and to appreciate this part of them, but they can't yet. You have to hold that back. And
yeah, so meanwhile, the readers are just like, oh, I don't like this character, and you're just like, no, but just
like,
wait a little longer and like you'll understand.
Yeah,
On another issue, I promise.
It's so funny you say that because when J.K. Rowling was writing everything up, and people started to like Snape, she got upset, because she had this whole big reveal that she was going to do later on, and people were beginning to like Snape, and she was like, no, and she got all upset and she got pissed off at people. Why are you liking him? And I'm like, just let people like him.
Yeah, like what's wrong with that? Just let the audience form their own opinions and just like keep telling the story.
Yeah,
that's why characters evolve, and depending on what resonates with people and making it relatable to people, that's a big thing too. In my opinion, I think that you could have the most outlandish characters, the most wonderful worlds, but then bringing it back and having people be able to relate to something, and maybe you found something where people are like, well, that wasn't my intent, but you know what, let's go in that direction. I think that's a very out of the box kind of thinking that makes a great story and a great writer and a great just a great collaboration in that way, if everybody's on the same page that way.
If she didn't want anybody like Snape, they shouldn't have cast Alan Rickman, because everybody loves him. He's
exactly. He did such a great job of portraying him too.
He was one of the greatest actors of our time.
10,000%.
Hans Gruber.
Yeah, and my bad take on the whole thing is that by the fifth book, I hated Harry Potter. And people go, how can you hate? No. By the fifth book, I hated the boy, and I didn't think he was the hero of the story. And I've gotten into big arguments. Yeah, because you that's the guy you're supposed to root for and like. But by the fifth book, I was like, I don't like your whiny ass.
Kind of a little shit.
Yeah.
Like what's
Exactly. Oh my god.
Well, it also, I think, with different things too, they different characters resonate with different viewers and different people. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you don't like the main character, but you like some of the supporting characters.
Yeah.
Like there's some great franchises. And I'm sure there's great in John and Sarah's stories as well. I know there's a lot in Felandra. It's an ensemble, and you just see what resonates with whichever reader or viewer or whatever form of media it is.
That brings up a good question. We used to ask this question a lot, especially from people with their books. I know you got your main character and you love your main character, but who's the character that you sit there going, I love this character, but they're just like a side character. But it's to you they're like, oh my god, they could be so much more. Each one of you can answer that.
Okay. I'll go first, I guess, this time. Well, like I said, the book isn't out yet, but we're slowly dripping out the characters, and there's a lot more characters that are going to be coming out. But the one that people love, and I'm sure Ralph is the same way with it, is Cole, the two-tailed cat. Everybody loves Cole. I'll say he's a mystical being.
I mean,
without giving too much away.
You put a cat in something, it's gonna be everyone's favorite character, hands down. Like that's cheating.
I had a cat, and
I have two cats. If you can see my picture in the background.
And I'm wearing a cat shirt.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have two orange boys, and yeah, you put a cat in anything, like I'm there.
Well, I'm going to go off topic. What's their names, and what kind of cats are they?
Oh, well, they're both orange tabbies, and the older one's name is Muffin because he's just a gigantic, snuggly muffin of a cat, and the other one is Pumpkin because he's just very round.
Aw, that's adorable. I like it.
I took both of them off the street. Like they were just on the street in my neighborhood. I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't know who's throwing away these orange cats, but they're mine now.
Well, I will share with you, since you got a cat in my on the topic. I will share the last picture I took with Salem before he passed away.
Aw.
Oh,
if you can see him.
Hold on.
Oh, he's a beautiful void.
Yes. That was the last. Yes, I loved him very much. He was like a brother from another mother, and somebody's texting me randomly.
That's how it always is.
Yes. Hold on.
And then they go, hey, why'd you put my text on the show for? Well, that's
yeah. So that's the influence from Cole. There's many Salem references in Felandra that we can go over, but to answer your question, I think the ones that have been revealed so far, a lot of people like different characters, at least with Felandra Heroine of Darkness, but the one that I think a lot of people love is Cole, and I spell it uniquely, Kol instead of Cole. So
it's kind of like in Hindi where it's like Kohl for like the dark stuff that we put around our eyes, like eyeliner.
Yeah, I wanted to be different, so it's there's a lot of that in the series. Another character that people really liked was Straight Arrow, one of the Adriana Woods's or / Felandra's surrogate fathers is also her teacher. He's the one who teaches her the martial arts and also helps her bring her persona of the vigilante. And then another character was one of the other ones is Screwfly, which is one of the villains of the series, the one who has a lot of cybernetic. I think Ralph has a picture of Screwfly, but but yeah, so that's another one who resonates. And I wanted it to be where like people can vision themselves in different characters and find different things that they can relate to, as well as enjoy the journey. So those are just three that people really resonated with, aside from Adriana Woods' Felandra.
I love how there's a villain in there, because I always find myself relating to villains sometimes, where it's just like, you know what, it's kind of a jerk move, but like I'm with you.
Well, with Felandra, there's tons of villains, and you will probably enjoy that aspect. Like, because I love movies that have great villains, and TV shows, like whether it's RoboCop, whether it's The Crow. You know, if you look at those, even the minor villains are interesting. Like even like some of the animated series, like Batman, the animated series, X-Men.
Absolutely legendary, yes.
Yes, outstanding. And you have great just across the boards. It's good. Some of them have like interesting stories that they're like, well, why are they bad? But also, in a way, I know it's not popular, but I like some characters that just they're bad just because they're not nice people. You know what I mean?
Relatable.
Yeah, like they're just bad.
Yeah, like how some people have that like power fantasy of like being the hero and saving the day. Like my power fantasy is just being a villain, just being an ass to everybody.
Yeah, like there's this one like one character in my series. Like I won't give it away too much, but I will say he has this traumatic event, and he always wanted to be a supervillain. So I'm just gonna tease you in that way.
Nice.
So one of many characters. One of like I said, there's a lot of villains in Felandra as well as other characters. So I hope you enjoy them.
It's always amazing to me how characters because like I said, sometimes you got the main character and you're like, I like him, but I like this guy better, which is why I always ask this question. What's your answer, John?
Sorry guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been feeding ice cubes to my dog actually down here. She won't leave my side, so I've been feeding her.
Right, can you show us the dog?
What's his name?
Noticing. This is Lulu. This is I can't get her from this is her as well. Yeah, she won't leave my side, so so this is her puppy picture. Yeah, she's underneath my feet, and it's hot here, so I've been feeding her ice cubes the whole time. But anyway, so my favorite side character, probably Ace in this current Kickstarter for Space Cruizin. He's a very unique character. He wears a cowboy hat, World War II bomber jacket, and T-shirts depicting different pop culture references like I Shot JR. And he's a very humorous character. He kind of plays off the android who is old, and he's kind of making fun of him a lot. His crusty cogs, I guess. And he's a good relief to the seriousness of the character Yuri, who is this enhanced Bushido warrior. So they kind of play off of each other. But like I said, there's not a lot of comedy characters in comic books, so I really enjoyed writing him. He's an alien, and as he says in the comic book, you know, even though there's a lot of animosity between humans and aliens because the humans have come and kind of invaded their world, they humans brought beer and TV into his life, so he's good with humans. So
Nice.
it's just a funny character that I really enjoyed writing.
That's how you win me over. Just give me beer and I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. He loves all the things that a typical man would like, you know, beer, TV, playing cards, smoking cigars, you know.
You did a good job building him. You know, I feel like it stands out that you're supposed to like him, and you like him.
Yes. All these characters are very enjoyable.
Hard not to like him.
Yeah, and if people just give it a chance to give it a read, I think they'll really enjoy the ride. The character Ace, this alien I'm talking about, he kind of breaks the fourth wall. He talks to you, the reader, and kind of gives you the lowdown of the land when we first introduced to show you what's going on. And throughout the series, he does kind of introduction to you, the reader, and tells you what's kind of going on. I wanted to do something different than I had done before. It's always fun to, you know, break out of your comfort zone and do something totally different that I hope most of my comics are something very unique that people haven't read on the shelves. So.
And Sarah?
Nice.
I think there are a couple for me. I really enjoyed writing Lucifer. I think she's one who definitely stands out for me. She has this kind of attitude where everything is like so high stakes for Rosette. It's the fate of her eternal soul. And Lucifer's just like making jokes and teasing her and taking it lightly. And I enjoy playing around with her kind of personality. And she kind of, in some ways, inspired one of the other projects that I'm working on now, actually.
Huh. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. And then the other one who really stands out for me is Beatrice, who's Bash's tween daughter. And I think that she just, for her age, has a lot of attitude and kind of thinks that she knows everything.
A typical tween.
Yeah. And she's not in it a lot. She'll be more important later on. She hasn't been in it a lot yet, but I've really enjoyed writing her. One of the ideas, if I ever do a spinoff that I've had, is for a slightly older, like maybe 18 version of Beatrice spinoff. But yeah, she's been a lot of fun to write too.
Matt, I can ask you too. You're a writer, and you got your own universe that you're putting together there. I know it's like asking you what's your favorite child, what's your favorite stepchild.
Not really.
Do tell.
Oh man, it's a character that actually hasn't been introduced in the comics yet, so I didn't even know. He's kind of like this crazy villain type character who, like, at first seems very menacing, but then you realize he's just really harmless and stupid.
We love those characters.
Yeah, so he's a doctor that pretty much has like a chop shop for people, if that makes sense. Where like you come in sick and you don't leave, but you know your organs might leave and he might get some money for it. And yeah, I mean, he's just like completely crass, foul mouth, full of insults. But at the end of the day, like in the greater scheme of things, in a story with like gods and people with magical powers, he's kind of like nothing. But he wants to be something.
I know a lot of people that like that.
And yeah, so, you know, sometimes you wake up feeling like that too. Like, oh man, I'm so mad. I want to get something done, and it's kind of relatable. It's like. My beta readers on my Discord have kind of described him as like that kind of character that you love to hate, because it's like he's really despicable and terrible, but also he's just so funny and stupid.
Well, it's important to have many layers.
Exactly.
Yes. And there's definitely a lot of layers to like all of my characters, which is always fun to go into. And that's kind of like going through the story, you see how everyone, like how they are when you peel back the layers. Like I enjoy that because I like psychology and like social sciences and things like that. So like it's fun to just put that into the story I'm writing.
That's a good thing about this.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
You know, you sit there and you're reading and you're like, okay, well, what else? What's going on? And I feel like you do the same thing as the other writers here. You kind of like there's something else here, but I'm not telling you right now.
There's a
Oh, yeah,
lot I'm not telling you
definitely.
guys. Like I have an
Definitely.
entire field guide, and then like that's just stuff that's been touched in the story. But then like even the field guide is gonna get bigger with like every trade paperback. So it's
Oh,
at
even
some
the same
point
thing, yeah.
it's gonna be like an Encyclopedia Britannica set where it's just like about this weird fictional world.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's so much more that I want to tell, and a lot of layers to characters and different connections and stuff like that. But I don't want to give it all away before the book even comes out yet. Like there's just so much. What's that, Ralph? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's the trouble, especially with us writers, because we have all this stuff, we have this bigger story, and you're sitting there going, "How much can we give you before we give you too much?"
Yeah, it's like, how much do you really need to know right now? This much? Okay, that's all you're getting. And we'll come back to this, like, 10 issues down the road.
Oh, yeah. Even the same thing, like with Felandra, there's like dark humor in it, and like a lot of like light things to give you different things. Like you'd see bickering between Adriana and her best friend Kiara. Like there's a lot of bickering and like sisterhood, kind of like little sister, big sister kind of humor into it. So it's not just all dark doom and gloom. There's humor in it too. So like I'm sure everybody has, a little bit of humor to kind of balance out their stories and stuff like that.
You need the balance. Otherwise, if it is just one note, it does become boring. So
yes, absolutely.
Hey,
Angel, how are you?
Hey.
Hi.
It's the Son of Saint, amazing little artist. If you guys are looking for a cover artist, you guys can go hit up the Son of Saint.
Nice. I think he's done like over 100 covers so far or something, right? I don't
know. Angel's always doing a beautiful cover.
Oh my god, I don't even know how he does.
Reach out.
I don't know how you keep himself so busy.
I'm saying Angel or anybody else, just follow me on Instagram, and I'm sure we all are the same way. Just reach out to us.
Oh, definitely. That's how we all get along. That's what we do. We move forward.
The more you know.
And knowing is half the battle. The other half is violence.
Yo. The balance.
It's so funny though. We say that, and it always feels like it reveals our ages.
Yes.
Because we know exactly what that is, and everybody else is like, "What the hell are they talking about?
What are they talking about? Back in my day."
Oh God, don't get me started.
Get off my lawn.
So John, let's do the goal. Let's tell the people all the information one more time. John, you
yeah. So Space Cruizin is live on Kickstarter right now. It's got 24 days currently, but you can back it today, and no funds will come out until after the Kickstarter ends. So that's really cool. If people don't really have the money right now, it's not an issue. They can just back it now and worry about paying on July 11th. So, like I said, it's a terrific, fun comic book that people who have read a little bit have really enjoyed. You've got these three friends that are hunting the galaxy looking for earthling artifacts, and no, not to spoiler, but it's not going to be the amazing artifacts are not going to be a painting by Michelangelo. It's going to be contemporary items that you would not think would be wonderful artifacts. I guess I'm killing them, but there's a lot of humor and satire in it throughout the series. But you've got this Bushido warrior, this enhanced individual who was part of this war against the natives, the aliens, who they're aliens, but they want to be called natives because this is their planet, and the Earthlings are unable to live on Earth. It's not sustainable anymore, so they travel light years away to this distant galaxy where they set up shop. And unfortunately, there's a lot of tension between the aliens and the humans, and that kind of sets up the world that we currently live in, because nobody wants to read a story where everybody gets along. So
of course not.
There's a lot of battles and stuff that go on, but these three individuals that want to stay out of any military conflicts end up getting pulled in and have to save the galaxy, as much as they don't want to get involved. So yeah, it's got a lot of comedy in it. If you like Spaceballs, if you like Galaxy Quest, if you like Star Wars, if you like Star Trek, then you'd enjoy Space Cruise. And the artwork is amazing. And yeah, you can always look at the covers. There's some great covers. There's a great homage cover to Amazing Fantasy 15, because if you're going to make a debut cover, might as well make the greatest debut cover, in my opinion, of the one of Spider-Man. And then there's the Star Wars issue 1 homage. If you scroll down a little bit more, I think you'll see that. That's been the bestseller so far. They did Javar did a great job. He's the cover artist for that one. So there's a lot of intrigue in the story, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of satire. And if you've liked my other comics like Alpha Dogs or Dime-Store Detective, then you'll love this new series that I have currently going. And if you want the other comics that I have, you can always go back and look at my past Kickstarter, watch the trailers. The trailers are all great. If the trailers don't get you to want to back the comic, I'm kind of out of ideas, because the trailers are terrific for all my.
Yeah, you do some good trailers, bro.
Yeah, I just write them. They do all the magic.
It's you got to put them together, happens. So yeah, exactly. Sarah, you go.
Yeah, so No Spell Lasts Forever is my comic. It's if you like contemporary fantasy or noir, it'll be up your alley. So again, it's a magic-using criminal who makes a deal with the devil for a second chance at life. She's tasked with corrupting a truly good soul and has to ask herself if that's something that she is going to go through with, and what happens if not. This is issue 3. There are physical and digital catch-up tiers if you haven't been following the series. If you have, if you read the first couple of issues, this is the issue where Rosette actually has to start putting in her plan to corrupt this good person. So this is kind of really where the rubber hits the road for her, and she starts really kind of digging into some of those deeper questions about what kind of person am I? We've already hit a bunch of the backer bonuses and stretch goals. So there are going to be a lot of additional goodies that people get in addition to those tier rewards. We've got all of the art is gorgeous. We've got some really gorgeous variants. Also, one of the backer bonuses that I think is really cool is a 3D digital poster of Rosette. So I've got a snippet, a little preview of it on there. And I'm going to reveal the whole thing at the end of the campaign. What else? There's a sketch cover. This is the first time that I've done a sketch cover, and I keep kind of trying to push that one because I want people to post pictures of whatever they do with it. I want to see what people come up with.
I think sketch covers are always fun to see because it's people's imagination on your property.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. And yeah, the campaign has 11 days left. So
and folks, as you can tell, she's a little more relaxed than John is because she's
look.
Yeah, that's why it's important to help these guys fund so they can be relaxed. They're still gonna work hard to get you to buy their books, but at least it's more of a okay. Now that we've funded, I can talk to you guys.
Yeah, like okay, this is actually happening now. Cool, I can calm down, like take it down just a notch.
Yeah, Sarah's a much better promoter than I am.
No. It's the relaxedness. Forget about the whole thing. It's like we're funded, but I want you to buy this book. It's not like, come on, folks, buy it. And folks, Jon Dexter does a lot of great books, and I tell you from in person because I've got both series. That he is a great writer. He does a good job at putting things together. You should pick this stuff up. You should pick up all 3 of them.
Thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
I agree. And Alpha Dogs, I always think it's just such a cool, unique idea.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And it's so funny because I know people always ask me, I'm like, well, if I want to describe it, it's like it's like the X-Men with dogs.
Yes.
That is a good pitch right there.
Yeah, it is maybe I should have you promote my stuff.
Ralph is a great hype man.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool because I see Sarah when she first did her first Kickstarter. We came out a little bit about the same time, and you've done a great job with your work, Sarah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man. Blake. Wait. Yeah, Blake. Yeah, Blake.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Go for it.
Oh, what? Just Felandra? Well, I'll just reiterate. If you look in the what is it, the project section, you could see some things there on the projects tab. But yeah, it's called.
Project. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
and on my
private
Instagram,
chat.
and on my Instagram, I got some stuff on there too. So, but
I'm looking at the private chat. I'm like, you put something in the private chat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, shout out to Chris. He's John's composer. Fantastic musician. He's working on a film called The Tin Soldier that has John in it. Fantastic composer and really nice guy. He's also got a jazz album coming out. So
John also has a comic book.
Yeah, John does have a comic book. I only met him one time, but I know like I said, I know his composer, and he's a friend of mine. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he usually works with the guy from the Boarding Kenya.
Yes. And what was it? Critical Thinking was another film that Chris and John also collaborated on when Chris did the music. But yeah, go up and you can see it's the click. There you go. There we go. That's Screwfly right over there. The one of the villains.
I found it before when we were talking, but I couldn't put it up in time before you finished talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll slow down. So yeah, the elevator pitch again is it's about a female named Adriana Woods who becomes a vigilante, has to deal with the loss of her mother as well as the rise of crime in a futuristic cyberpunk future set 70 years. By day, she's a journeyman mechanic. By night, she is Felandra Heroine of Darkness. It's an ensemble cast. Like I said, it started out as an animated series in development. Like I said, there's a full season already written, as well as we've adapted it into a comic now. The legendary Keith Williams is doing the cover for issue 1, as well as the very talented and artist Eli Ramos is doing the collaboration with the artwork. So like all three of us are doing the collaboration on issue 1. Oh, thank you, Angel. I will definitely keep that in mind. And yeah, so again, there's many other characters I wish I can tell you right now, but we're slowly dripping it out.
See, you're in a difficult place because you don't have something that's already come out.
No,
so you don't know. You're in that place where we were talking about, where the writers go, how much can I reveal? How much can I not reveal? And until something comes out, you're kind of lost. And at the same time, you're kind of everywhere and you're giving all this information.
Yeah, exactly. Like even the same thing, the two characters on the, I guess that would be the top right, or are being revealed at, for Garden State Comic Fest, which are, what was the other one on the other one there? The two, like I was saying, Adriana has two surrogate fathers. One on the left is Straight Arrow, who helps her develop her persona and help her control her grief and loss. Also, I will give you a little hint. He's got a little bit of dry sense of humor. Also on the right, the two characters that are being revealed at Garden State Comic Fest are Pastor Reed and his daughter Kiara Reed, who's also kind of like a surrogate sister to Adriana, and they have that bond. And then you have Cole the cat on the bottom.
I was about to say, if you weren't going to mention him, I'm like, there's Cole right there.
Yeah, there's Cole on the bottom right over there. So the two-tailed mystical cat, that's all I'm going to say right now. There's a lot more to him. But yeah, and he's kind of like another part. And like I said, everybody loves Cole. And like I said, and then Screwfly is one of many villains. Like I said, again, I'm in this for the long haul, so hopefully everybody else is too. With this, I remember we talked in December when Keith and Eli were here.
Yeah.
I chuckled when some people went to me and said over the year, and I thanked them very much. But they go over and they say, well, I could see this as a 14-issue comic or whatever. And I said, yeah, so can we. So because there's definitely a lot of material. Like I said, I have a series Bible for 6 seasons. So plus potential spinoffs depending on, like we were talking about before, like which characters resonate with other people.
Right.
So there's many directions they can go in. And again, there's so many different things. There's villains, there's anti-heroes, there's like I said, if you're a fan of like 90s animation, if there's science fiction here, there's fantasy, there's technology, like I said, family, sisterhood, extended family, so many other elements. Like I'll give you a quick example with the villain and Screwfly. Like one of the themes of the show, the series is with technology. Like for example, somebody loses a limb, and you want to get a new limb, you get a new arm. So that's the good side of it. The bad side in Screwfly's case is she treats it like a tattoo. She wants more. She wants more. She wants more power. She's constantly upgrading cybernetics. If you notice on the top left with Screwfly there, between the battle between Adriana and Screwfly in that one photograph, but you see that's part of her blessing as well as her curse. And she's one of the characters that has that sympathetic story. She's not just a bad guy just to be a bad guy. So yeah, there's a lot. What's that? I'm sorry, Ralph.
Those are the better villains. When
oh yeah,
not, there's a reason why.
Yeah, they need motivation. I think a lot of writers don't understand that. Like, the villains think that they're the heroes of the story.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. There's and like I said, it just depends, and that's just not just with Felandra. That's everybody's story, whether it's Jon's or Sarah's or just anyone that we do. There's just so many different characters that people relate to, and you just hope that you can have people continue to revisit that world and just continue on that journey. So like I said, there's just so much more I want to share and tell. And yes, yeah, like Ralph knows I want to explode.
That's what I'm saying. You're in a bad place because or a bad and good place because you want to reveal more, but you like, how much can I reveal? How much can I not reveal?
Yes.
What can I do? It's not a good place to be.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
Anything before like your issue 1 comes out, and I feel like once issue 1 comes out, you kind of relax and you're just like, all right, now I can talk about this more. Like, this is what's gonna happen. Stuff like it gets easier.
Absolutely, and like I said, if you want to see more of the world, and this is just the salesman in me, I say buy the book. Then we can tell more stories. There's definitely a lot of content here, so again, that's the best way I could tell it. Like and like I said, like I remember in the last interview with when Ralph and me and Keith and Eli, we want to tell more stories.
If you want to go and find out more from Blake, you can go to Garden State Comic Fest and come on, Blake, you can tell me more. Come on.
Yeah, of course. Let's say, there's some outstanding creators and artists and celebrities and a lot of things. And my shout out to the Garden State Comic Fest with Dave. And but like you can meet myself and Eli and let's say who else? Keith and also shout out to some other people. Let's say Enrique Lopez is going to be there. Kevin Altieri, who everybody knows from Batman. Also Ava and Sean Wolf.
The freaking list of people who are going to be at Garden State. Huge list. They went above and beyond for this one.
Yes. Another one, J.M. DeSantis. Just giving a lot of shout outs. I love.
He's at like every con too.
Yeah, JM's. If he's not at the con, you're like, where were you?
and he's a great horror writer. So everybody was talking about horror before. So and like I said, Ava is an up and coming artist. She's still in art school. Friend of mine. I'd love to work with her. Just putting it out there. But yeah, there's a lot of great artists. And forgive me, who else is there? Danelle is going to be there. Dendell. Just so many others. I apologize if it escapes me.
Tony Todd is going to be there, folks. If you like horror,
yeah.
The voice himself is going to be there.
Yes. And also with Felandra, shameless plug. We do have collectors. We do have collector cards, and
nice.
That will. I think this is the third card that will be out, and then another appearance down the line. Oh yeah, Tim's going to be there. He's a good guy. I like Tim. But yeah, shameless plug. Go pick up your free promo card. Buy our tables.
There you go.
And come say hi. I think maybe Eli might have some prints for sale, or Keith. Also pick up their artwork as well, and everybody else there. Just some fantastic people going to be there. Oh yeah, Billy West is going to be there too, and John Cabadice. Let's see, John Cabadice is a good guy.
Hector Camacho Jr., Kathy Moriarty.
Let's see who else is going to be there. And cosplay, there's excellent cosplay people.
They always have some great cosplay at Garden State. Oof.
It's one of the largest.
I gotta get off. I'm sorry. I started to interrupt. I gotta get off here.
Oh, okay, no problem. Do you want to say? Yeah,
no problem, Don. Go ahead. Say your thing. Tell the people one more time where they can find you and go.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Real Alpha Dogs. I'm on Instagram at Alpha_Dogs_comic, and I'm on Facebook, of course, too, at Jon Dexter. So, and then, like I said, the Kickstarter is got 23 days left, and we're getting close to the goal. So
I saw you inching this whole time we're talking.
Yeah, the background kept kind of going up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it has a lot to do with being on the show. I really appreciate taking the time to have me on the Bitten Apple.
John, you can come anytime you want.
Thanks. Well, Dime Store Detective issue 4 will be launching in August, so maybe we'll have to do it again. So
you got my attention. Yeah.
You're gonna have to come back and talk about it. Oh no.
Don't make me force you.
Yeah, absolutely.
What cons are you doing, John?
I'm sorry.
What cons are you going to be doing? Any cons?
So my next con is, I got a little bit of a dry spell here, but I'll be at Chicago Fan Expo August 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah, that's going to be a huge one. So it's pretty exciting. I'm going to be at that one. That's the next one I have left. And then I'll be at Frankenfest in Detroit, Michigan in
two good ones. Okay.
September. Yeah, it's a big one too as well. So, and then we'll see after that. But those are what's on the horizon right now. So if people are interested in the Space Cruizin, you're not gonna have to wait to fulfill, because I've got a new Kickstarter in August. So you gotta give everybody their comments before you can launch the next one, or else you won't get backers coming back. So they won't have to wait long for their.
Folks, I can tell you, John finishes a Kickstarter and like you get it so quick. You're like, wait a minute, didn't Kickstarter just finish?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm very quick when it comes to fulfillment, because I've been in the same boat a lot. I'm sure most of you guys have been, where you've waited 9 months, 10 months. There's a few times a year. There's one I still haven't gotten. That's been like 3 years. So I'm definitely one of those people that will fulfill in a timely manner.
All right, John. I will let you go. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Great talking to you.
Great talking with you.
Nice meeting you all. And Sarah, it's been nice. We'll have to talk again here.
Yeah,
stay in touch, and we'll get to meet you in person.
Yeah,
outside of the cyber world.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Night.
So,
there we go.
So,
Blake, what were you saying?
No, I was plugging Garden
that's
State
right. You're finishing your plug.
Yeah, I was plugging all the people that we know. I was.
I believe Fest is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a blast there. We always have a lot of blast there. Yeah. Dude, if you guys like Wild Bills, they're going to have a special Garden State Comic Fest 10th anniversary cup there.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always like plugging like acquaintances and friends I know because I always
definitely.
believe in good vibes. Like
Yeah.
you know, Ralph always knows. He looks at my Instagram stories all the time.
All
I'm
the
always
time. And you know, like we like to
plugging
say
things.
here, we raise each other up. It's easier
Yes.
to rise if we're all rising at the same time.
Yep.
Definitely.
Exactly right. But yeah, no, I've got amazing creators, artists, guests.
Yep.
Like I said, I only met Dave one time, but he was very, very, very good gentleman and very nice. Looking forward to the convention.
Dave is fantastic. I've known him for years now. I think we've been going for almost all 10 years.
Fantastic.
Either it's 10 or 9 years. I think we might have been at the second one. Because I think he started in 2014.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would
10
imagine,
years, 2014.
Yeah.
So either we were at the second or third one, because he's early on in Bitten Apple's career.
And you do a fantastic job too, Ralph. Just
appreciate that.
Yes.
Okay, folks, before we leave, let's show off a couple of other people here who have Kickstarters going on right now. You guys have to go check out Pinguino's Revenge, because I can't say enough about Pinguino's Revenge. You know, Rob Powers does an amazing job with his comics and other things. He's an amazing artist. Go check him out. He's actually working with our friend Gage on Gage's book.
What? Wait, he's working on Godslayers?
Yeah.
Oh, snaps.
Oh my God, you should see what I've seen so far. Yeah, Pinguino's Revenge is coming soon. I think it's July 10th. There you go. Dude, this penguin is badass. You guys have to have this. And Rob does an amazing job with the art. Let's see what else we got over here. Oh yeah, Worthy Chaos just started their Kickstarter today.
Oh my God. Oh, she's on 11. My goodness.
Cool.
Carissa is like absolutely bonkers, and I love her.
My God.
But like it's so horrifying. I think she's done like 11 Kickstarters in like 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
it
the
amazes
appropriate
me.
reaction.
Exactly. It amazes. Like this popped up into my feed right before the show started, and I'm like,
oh, look at that! Look at her go.
oh, look at that! Oh, I love to see that. and I know that Matta just put this up here, so let me share this. Go ahead, Matta.
Ah, yes, that is Drumsticks of Doom. It used to be on Kickstarter, but my comics partner in crime, John Westhoff, decided to try out Zoop because why not? I mean, people have mixed opinions on Kickstarter nowadays because of a lot of drama. So he's like, you know what? I'll try Zoop. So it's for a new issue of Drumsticks of Doom. And also there is a plush toy as a reward that I'm very invested in. If you scroll down, it's like this cute spider alligator hybrid.
There it is.
Yep, the Arachnigator. So cute. I'm very invested in seeing this funded so I can get my own Arachnigator. You know, totally selfish reasons here, but also like Drumsticks of Doom is a great comic. It's like if you're a heavy metal fan, like you need to do yourself a favor and just pick up this comic.
You know, John thought that I wasn't going to go after him to come out to bring him on the show, and I went after him to bring him on.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did because I was about to go after him because I was like, you know, John, just hit me up when you launch, and he's like, all right, yeah, whatever, blah blah blah. No, we're dragging.
Yeah, he doesn't say nothing.
No, he never does. He never does.
So he's going to be here on Wednesday.
Okay,
yeah, Wednesday.
Good.
Yeah, he's going to be here on Wednesday. He's going to tell you all about this because I want to know more about this whole Zoop thing.
Yes, I would love to pick his brain on, you know, his thoughts so far because it's definitely an experiment. I feel like it's hard to get people to come over from Kickstarter to Zoop.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Zoop, what he's told me so far, is that I mean they curate the comics they have there, so it's like, you know, they have like a very specific selection. It's not just like everybody and their mother launching on the platform, so like there's less saturation, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I would love to hear his thoughts so far.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That was wrong. He's going to be here on Monday. Next Monday.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say him staying up till 10:30 is
it's so like, funny because I'm looking at the message here and he's going, I can't do Wednesdays, Ralph.
Yeah, no, he would be like dead the next morning. Yeah.
So next week, Monday on Apple Bites, John Westhoff will be here and he will be talking about all this beautiful stuff.
And the plush, he has one of the plushies. He can show it on camera. It's adorable.
Oh.
Very invested in this plushie.
Oh, I
Nice.
love plushies, so this will be interesting.
And also look how cute it is. Just look at it.
It is. It's really cute. I can
Mhm.
just see me playing with this and chomping people.
Yep.
Chomp chomp.
I think the last one to show here is, of course, Philip Russert, Tragedy 6. He's on issue 6, folks. I've read all the way. Oh, there it goes. It went up.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
You
cool.
got the magic. Every time you load someone's Kickstarter, the number goes up.
Phil, I know Phil.
Yeah, you know Phil. I think you know Phil. He has
Yeah,
his book
yeah.
6. You guys can actually catch up if you haven't gotten any of the other issues. You can. He has a catch-up tier. But Tragedy is amazing. I read all the way up to issue 8, and I have to tell you, folks, Phil is an amazing writer. He knows what he's doing, and just the first issue alone, the way that ends, you guys buy issue 1, then come talk to me. And I think that is everybody. I don't see Mr. Nat on the show. He's usually the one that tells me what I'm missing.
Well, also, I got one to plug.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Keith. I don't know if his is still on yet.
Is Keith still on? I can find out right now.
Keith,
Keep talking.
yeah, Keith. His sketchbook.
Yep.
You know, I gotta plug Keith there.
The legendary Keith. Well, besides the fact that the legendary Keith Williams has a sketchbook, I have to tell you, folks, that if you want to get a nice, beautiful piece from commission Keith Williams, you guys can commission him, hit him up on Instagram, and then go pick it up at Garden State Comic Fest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be there.
That's amazing by itself.
He'll be. It's going to be the way it's laid out. And thank you, Dave. It's myself, Eli, and Keith all in a row.
And then you have, folks, if you guys haven't had a chance to get a piece of art from the amazing Keith Williams, here you have this Keith Williams sketchbook.
14 hours to go. Get on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
jump right
wow.
on that. And you know what? And he's an awesome dude. Very nice man, and a very talented guy.
The good thing is he's funded, but come on, folks, this is Keith Williams we're talking about.
Let's get
Go
him
get a
The legendary man himself.
Exactly.
But yeah, and it's you'll enjoy that book. And the other Keith is I recently we followed each other on social media. He's heading off on the sketchbook with New Pain Productions, I believe it's called, who's doing the book. So, and there's some really good people behind this book, and I think you guys will really like it, especially Keith's artwork.
Yeah. Dude, just and it amazes me he still does commissions.
Commissions probably make more money than comics. Let's be real here. Anytime I get a commission, I'm like, yes, I don't have to print anything. I don't have to print and I don't have to ship.
It's just the only thing that I feel like it's the only thing I'm jealous with artists, because we writers can get commission, but I feel like it's a whole other thing.
I mean, you could technically do editing if you're willing to put up with that.
True.
That's true.
That's the closest you can probably get to a commission.
I'm not editing nobody because I can't even edit myself. So.
Fair. That is fair.
Editing in general it's a unique skill. Like whether it's film, whether it's animation, whether it's
if we're talking video, I can edit stuff for you. Yeah, no problem.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, folks, I'm a jack of all trades. I'm just an artist by trade.
At this point, you have to be like, when you're marketing yourself, like you have to be a video editor. You have to suddenly be like a sound person. You have to do your own writing, your own marketing. Like it's a lot. Like people are like, oh, but you just get to sit down and write, right? Like, no. Like I'm lucky on a day where I just get to sit down and write.
I wish, man.
Well, another thing too. Eli just texted me. He says he just got in, so I don't know how long we're on the show yet. But
well, we should have been finished ages ago, so that already tells you something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Eli was hung up because of he had an art show that he had to finish up, and shout out to him. He works with a lot of kids.
Oh.
And he's a man of many hats, like us all. But he just texted me.
This point. You can't just have one skill set in today's economy.
Yes, you can't have one thing, dude. I started off Bitten Apple as the guy behind the scenes. Now I'm the guy up here, and
you're doing the legwork here. Like, how did that happen?
I don't know, man. I don't know how I became the voice. You know.
Hey, it's a good voice.
It is a
I
great voice.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Good podcasting voice.
Yes, and yeah, no, it's everybody wears many hats, and even myself. My friend, one of my friends, she goes to me. My superpower is I can talk to a cactus, and because you have to be personable.
That's important, though.
So, yeah, exactly. So
we know because we try to sell ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Sell ourselves, sell our souls, same thing.
Exactly. Sell our books, sell ourselves, sell our projects.
Whatever it takes to get by nowadays.
And it's also important to be personable and real. I think a lot of people miss those attributes.
One of the first things that I found out when doing Bit and Apple is, which is why I like when I have the team with me, because whatever I'm interested in is what I'm gonna go talk to, whatever I'm gonna go see. If it strikes my interest, that makes my life easier. So sometimes, when you have multiple people on the team, it makes life easier because they'll go, "Oh, look at that, Ralph," and I may not have seen that from the get-go because it's not in my window, and I'm not saying, and sometimes it's not even that I'm not interested in it. It's just that, when you're looking around, yeah, exactly. And that's why I love when people bring things to me. Like I knew Sorcier was already saying, Sarah's book is like right up my alley. So I'm like, ooh.
Oh, thanks.
He's a huge noir guy, so like he needs to know about this.
Nice. Agreed on the noir.
Yeah, noir, and then you have magic in there too. So, dude, I'll just say this: my favorite character has nothing to do with any of the characters that I write. It's a side character from I used to do Vampire the Masquerade as a role-playing game on Yahoo Groups, which is ages ago. And I created a character that was pretty much a side character because I needed somebody that was able to transition certain players into certain things. And I created this cat called Tom.
Nice.
Love it.
And Tom is something completely otherworldly. And it's so much fun to play with him because he's a total trickster. And I like the fact that he's not what he seems to be at all at any point at any time, but he's not a main character. But he makes life so much easier when it comes to doing everything I need to do with whatever character I need to do it. And he's gotten to the point now where I'm like, I think I can write something with you as the main character.
Oh, fun.
Tom has earned his main character status. I love it.
Oh yeah,
he evolved.
Oh, definitely. The more mischievous he becomes, the more I'm like,
and also like that's
excellent
peak cat behavior as well.
Oh, definitely. And you can tell I'm a cat person because that's exactly what it is. I've had cats long enough to know what cats do and how cats react. And my last cat, Whiskey, I used to call him Whiskor, Tank of Doom.
Love it.
And that's exactly what he was. Besides the mischief, he was just this big battle axe of a cat that ran through the house and destroyed everything.
Appropriate name.
That's adorable.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, folks. If we're gonna continue doing this if I don't stop it. So.
All right. Yeah.
I'm having such a good time.
Exactly.
But I'm also strangely sleepy. I haven't gotten much sleep because I was cat sitting for my neighbors over the weekend.
Oh.
So it's like, yeah. So it's funny because it's like they're across the street, so I don't have to like sleep over there. But like I'm at my house and my cats are keeping me awake at night because that's what they do. And then it's like I have to get up like super early to go and feed the neighbors' cats because they're used to like eating like super early. So I got like I think a total of like 8 hours of sleep between like 2 days. And, like,
oh no.
I'm sorry. I hope you get to recuperate your sleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like just throw myself over and pass out once this is over. But great talk.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Dude, good times.
We geeked out too much because we're like what is it? We're at least 30 minutes over.
Yeah, we're approaching almost the 2-hour mark.
I think the people are really enjoying it though. But I just want to say shout out to.
I can tell you that much because the numbers are all the way up right now.
Oh, nice! And our chat has been pretty active too.
And I want to say thank you, and I'm sure I speak for everyone here that we say thank you for that. And I'm just looking more. I think that's how you say it. 357. I want to say thank you for following us.
Yeah, thank you.
And also Angel, thank you. And then some other people there. and I'll follow you back. So,
Folks, like we say, we raise each other up. It's always the good way to go. Help everybody out. Blake, Sarah, Matta, on all beautiful creators doing beautiful things. Go check out their stuff.
thank you.
Help people.
Or else.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And where should we find you on the internet? Why don't we close out with that?
Oh,
Which one?
Well, we can whoever
Matta.
wants to take
Okay.
it.
Oh, me.
Yeah, Matta. Tell me your stuff. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm at Matta Sorcier at Instagram and also Twitter that I barely use, and also just Matta Sorcier on Facebook. So I'm pretty easy to find. I'm consistent.
Or what do they call it now? X.
And Matta is a jack of all
No,
trades.
no, it's Twitter.
He does it all.
Oh yeah, but if you
Matta
follow
does
me
it
on
all.
Instagram, you get cat pictures. You get a lot of like my drawing process videos where it's a lot of traditional stuff. So if you're into like inking and watercolor and things like that, like I do that.
Nice.
Matta's
I'm gonna be following you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Matta's work is completely beautiful. Hold on.
Oh,
Let me,
thank you.
let's see
There's
how
also
fast
lots
I
of
can
glitter
do it.
involved.
Nice.
Do you have your glitter piece ready? No, right?
It's somewhere here. Yeah, because nobody bought it. I'm really pissed off about that. So it's gonna just
Dude.
stay here in my house. But yeah, I
Oh.
still have this
Oh, there it goes.
Very
a
pretty.
watercolor painting. Yeah, that has some glitter on there to make it stand out.
I'm gonna have to gather some money together and get that away from me.
Thank you. Or I'm just gonna
Nice.
like next time there's pancakes and booze, I'm just gonna take like this one thing to their gallery and just try to get it sold.
I think you might be able to do good at pancakes and booze.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it because, like, yeah, I'm so bad at taking care of my own artwork. Like, it'll just be in a corner under a pile of things that it shouldn't be under. So, like, it needs to go to a loving home with somebody who'll appreciate it.
I'm the same way with my writing.
Yeah, and
I
it's
need
not.
to put this stuff somewhere.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my god, I hate this piece now, but it's more of just like, all right, I'm done with it. On to the next thing, and like, I'm just gonna completely forget about it. So someone else needs to take it off my hands at some point.
Yeah, folks, take it off her hand. Go buy it, folks.
Yeah,
Come on.
like somebody give this piece the love that I will just never give it because I keep forgetting about it.
Just love and cherish it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Needs to find its forever home.
I can endorse it with the ever enjoying voice and enticing.
Very soothing. Very soothing.
Yes, very soothing.
There you have it, folks.
Actually.
That's the way we're going to end it right there because we all need to relax. And
I figure we'll all shout out, I guess, where we can find each other, I guess.
Oh, you want to do it again? Go for it.
Yeah. Sarah, go ahead.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, more active on Instagram at Sarah C Comics, Sarah with an H, C Comics. And yeah, the link to my newsletter and to the Kickstarter, all that stuff is in my Instagram bio.
You could find me on. I don't have any fancy taglines. It's just my name. You can find me on Instagram. Blake Zawadzki, BlakeZawadzki on Instagram. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. And also at BlakeZawadzki.com. So the most up-to-date stuff you'll find on Instagram, like where I'm going to be appearing and different things as far as Felandra. I've been, we might be doing maybe an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter down the line. People have been asking me to do as like a pre-order for the book, maybe down the line. But I'm very grateful again. But yeah, so for myself, I'll be appearing at Garden State Comic Fest, promoting this weekend. And I'll throw out another one too. One of the only two conventions I'm going to be doing this year, because I'll be doing more next year when the book is out. But I'm also going to be at the RetroCon in PA, in Oaks, PA. It's run by two lovely people, Rose and Tony. Shout out to them in September. Eli's going to be there as well. And then also some other people are going to be there. I'll be brief. But Absolute Retro is going to be there, which is a toy toy maker, and they also work with me. It's also Migo. So definitely check them out as well. And there's also some outstanding other people going to be at RetroCon and Garden State Comic Fest. So that's where you can find me again. Blake Zawadzki on Instagram and Facebook, and also .com.
You have it, folks. Go to Garden State Comic Fest. Go say hi.
Yeah.
Try to get some secrets away from Blake.
Yes. Oh, and
maybe
one
you
last
can
thing.
bribe him, like give him some cupcakes or something in exchange for secrets.
I like cupcakes and coffee. And,
There you go. Perfect.
And Wawa is great. I love Wawa. But even when I'm on the West Coast, I make that joke. I always say there's no Wawa in California.
Tragic.
But,
Very
yeah.
tragic.
But also one other shout out. Eli Ramos at artofeli.com, Art of Eli 1980 on Instagram, and Keith Williams at Keith Williams Comic Book Art on Instagram. So,
yeah, we tag Keith a lot. So,
yes, because he's such a gentleman and he's awesome. Same with a
awesome.
lot, very, very awesome people in general. There's a lot of awesome.
I look for Keith because I like putting him in on trailers because he's constantly doing some nice, beautiful thing.
It's very gestury.
Exactly. All right, folks. With that, I'll do what this show does best.